Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. NBA Tuesday, we got 13 games on the board. I'm going to go through, I think, 5 of them in this video, but 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, we're going through all 13. Me, Matt Modi, and Crispy Capin. So that's at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We'll go through every single game, make our final decisions. As far as the NBA, for me personally lately, it's been a challenge, man. It feels like whenever I get a green day, I give it back and then some the next day. We're coming up on 2.5 weeks where I'm just consistently losing. I mean, I'm still having a great season overall, not letting it get to me, but definitely a little bit frustrating. The NBA as a whole is definitely a little bit unpredictable at the moment. So hopefully that turns around. We got a loaded day. Let's get it started.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
First up, we got Miami on the road in Atlanta. Hawks are catching 3 or 3.5 points at home, depending on your sports book. Total sitting at 223. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 3-point Miami win. Final score, 114-111 Heat. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with Miami. Just one name on the report for the Heat, Terry Rozier. He's listed as questionable, so we'll have to wait and see with him. On the Atlanta side, still no Trae Young, still no Okongwu. Saddiq Bey is still out. I think he might be out for the year, Saddiq Bey. So definitely still some missing pieces here for Atlanta. Betting trends on the Miami side. Heat are actually 4-1-1 against the spread in their last 6. The game the other night where we bet Miami against the Pacers, that line actually closed at 2.5. So that counts as a win against the spread for the Heat. 4-1-1 against the spread in their last 6. 3-0-1 against the spread in their last 4 on the road. So some nice looking trends there for the Heat. Miami's also been all about overs recently. 6 straight. 6 overs in a row for the Heat. On the Atlanta side, Hawks are just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5, but they're 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 at home. It's the road. It's on the road where the Hawks have been struggling a little bit. Hawks have also been trending towards overs at home here. 6 overs in a row. 6-0 to the over in 6 straight Hawks home games. So let's match these two teams up on the court, and we'll start with some net efficiency numbers in the last 10 games. Miami 4th, Atlanta 15th. So the Heat have been playing better basketball than the Hawks. That being said, strength of schedule, 8th to 19th Atlanta. So the Hawks have played a slightly stronger schedule than the Heat. Atlanta's offense is hot. They're 6th in offensive rating, and that could help them in this matchup because Miami's definitely been better against elite defenses. On the season, the Heat 10-5 against the spread against top 5 defenses, just 6-7 against the spread against top 5 offenses, though. So the Hawks being a team that's riding their offense actually could help them here. As far as the matchup for Miami's offense, Heat have been taking a lot of mid-range shots, and Atlanta has some weak defensive numbers against the long mid-range shot, but that only accounts for 12% of the Heat shot attempts in the last 10 games. They frequent the short mid-range a lot more often, and Atlanta's actually played great defense against those shots, not just in the last 10 games. All season, the Hawks have had solid defensive numbers against that shot, the 8 to 12-footer. The glaring weakness for the Hawks defense this season has been in transition. They just cannot defend the fast break, but Miami doesn't really run the fast break like that. So as bad as the Hawks defense is, I don't think Miami is really the right offense to exploit it. And we can see a bit of a pattern here when it comes to Hawks opponents. Atlanta on the season, 6-17 against the top 10 offenses in transition frequency. So against the top 10 teams that run the fast break the most, 6-17 against the spread. Against the bottom 10, 13-13 against the spread. And for Hawks standards, against the number, that's actually a really nice hit rate. On the other side, we got the Hawks offense, and Atlanta's offense has been really good recently, but obviously this is going to be a really tough test against an elite Miami defense. Hawks have been pretty active on the offensive glass recently, 9th in the last 10 games, but Miami's defense is 1st, so I don't know if those second chance opportunities are going to be there for the Hawks. The good news for the Hawks offense here is they don't attack the rim much. That's been the strength of the Heat defense for a couple months now, keeping you away from the basket, not letting you score down low. Hawks are just 22nd in frequency at the rim in the last 10 games. The Hawks have been shooting the 3 ball, and they're shooting it well. 44% of the Hawks shot attempts in the last 10 games have come from 3, and they're 5th and 11th in efficiency from the corner and above the break threes. Miami gives up a lot of looks out there. There's going to be opportunities for the Hawks to hit some outside shots in this game. I know a lot of people are going to be back in the Heat here, a bounce back spot after their loss to the Pacers. But you know what? Miami on the season just 16-18 against the spread coming off a loss. So the Heat haven't really been that good in these bounce back spots. Add on the fact that Miami has Dallas tomorrow, a huge national TV game. I think it's a Hawk spot. I truly do. I know it sounds crazy, but I think I'm going to take the points with Atlanta in this one. Next game, Boston on the road in Milwaukee. We got the Bucks catching 1.5 or 2 points at home, depending on your sportsbook. Total sitting at 228. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 4-point Celtics win. Final score 115-111 Boston. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with the Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis on the report for Boston. He's listed as questionable. Al Horford also listed as questionable. On the Milwaukee side, Giannis on the report, but he's been listed as questionable for a while now. I wouldn't take that as an indication that he won't play. We'll see. He's listed as questionable. Betting trends on the Boston side, 5 wins in a row for the Celtics. 5-0 in their last 5. Just 3-2 against the spread, so they failed to cover the number a couple times in there. They are 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 on the road, though. They've been trending towards overs. Boston 6-1 to the over in their last 7. Milwaukee just 1-6 straight up and 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games. Just wow. They have covered 3 in a row against the Celtics, though. 3-0 against the spread in their last 3 meetings against the Celtics, but they're 5-15 against the spread in their last 20 meetings against the Celtics. So overall, Boston does own the Bucks. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers in the last 10 games. Obviously, we know Boston's been much better than Milwaukee. You don't need an expert to figure that one out. Efficiency in the last 10, 1st to 16th. Strength of schedule, though, Milwaukee has played the tougher schedule. They're 12th in the last 10 games, 28th for Boston. But even if we switch it to the last 5 games, the efficiency numbers look exactly the same. It's 1st to 17th. Strength of schedule is actually 20th to 29th Boston. So even when the Bucks have seen easier teams, like in the last 5 games, Boston's still playing much better basketball. I will say that I think the pace numbers in this matchup do favor the Bucks a little bit based on what we've seen this year. Celtics run a very slow pace, 28th in the last 10 games, 26th in the last 5 games. Milwaukee on the season, 4-11 against the spread against the top 5 in pace, 11-4-1 against the spread against the bottom 5 in pace. So Milwaukee's performed much better against teams that run slow paces like the Celtics do. Let's take a look at the matchup for Boston's offense, and huge edge here. I mean, Boston makes their shots and they protect the basketball. This is against a Bucks defense that doesn't force turnovers at all. Dead last, 30th in the last 10 games. Should be a very favorable matchup for the Celtics offense. One thing I'm a little concerned about, though, the Bucks have surprisingly played good defense against the three-point shot recently. 47% of the Celtics shot attempts in the last 10 games have come from 3. Milwaukee, against the above-the-break and corner 3 in the last 10 games, 7th and 4th in defensive efficiency. So that's actually a solid little angle for the Bucks defense there. And if you're thinking, well, Kyle, the Celtics will just attack the interior, they'll score at the basket. I'm not sure about that because Boston doesn't attack the rim much, for one, and the Bucks don't let their opponents get to the rim. It's not the Bucks defense that's been letting them down recently. It's the offense. And speaking of the offense, let's take a look at that matchup. I mean, they just cannot get their shots to fall. They also don't get offensive rebounds. They can't get to the free throw line. I mean, Boston's not even playing great defense right now. Still can't trust Milwaukee's offense. Shot zones for the Bucks offense. I mean, we can look at the perimeter. Celtics haven't been great defending the three-point shot. These numbers are pretty average, and the Bucks are taking a lot of threes. But look at their efficiency numbers. I mean, their shots just aren't falling. 22nd and 25th from the 2 3-point zones. Now that we're seeing the outside shots not falling, this Bucks team is kind of getting exposed a little bit, which makes betting this game extremely difficult. Because if the Bucks threes start falling like they were a month ago, I think they might win this game. I mean, against the Celtics team that isn't really playing for anything, but there's no way I could put my money on that. So it would only be Boston or pass for me. I probably won't bet this game. Next game, Sacramento on the road at Oklahoma City. Thunder laying 4 points or 4.5 points at home, depending on your sports book. Total sitting at 227.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. And according to the model, we should see a 2-point Thunder win. 2-point Kings win. I'm sorry. Final score 113-111 Sacramento. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with the Kings. Malik Monk has been ruled out. He's going to miss another game. Also, Kings are going to be without Kevin Huerter in this one. So 2 important 2 guards there missing for the Kings. On the Oklahoma City side, SGA finally back. Gilgeous-Alexander back in the lineup. Also, Jalen Williams might be back. He's listed as questionable. Gordon Hayward is out, though. He's been ruled out for this game. Betting trends on the Kings side. 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 on the road. Kings have also been all overs recently. 9-2 to the over in their last 11. Oklahoma City has some ugly-looking trends. 4-14 against the spread in their last 18, including 5 losses in a row against the number, 0-5 against the spread in their last 5, just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 at home. They've also got terrible history against Sacramento. OKC just 2-7 against the spread in their last 9 meetings against the Kings. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers. Obviously, the Kings have been playing better basketball than Oklahoma City. Both have played really strong schedules, though. In the last 10 games, they're 4th and 5th in strength of schedule, but efficiency 13th to 21st in favor of the Kings. Obviously, these are numbers from the last 10 games, and we know SGA missed 6 of those 10 games. Jalen Williams missed 4 of those 10 games. With Gilgeous-Alexander back on the floor, we should see the Thunder run a really fast pace in this game that actually could favor the Kings. On the season, Sacramento 8-5 against the spread against the top 5 in pace, 6-8 against the spread against the bottom 5 in pace, so they've been much more profitable against fast-paced teams. Let's take a look at the matchup for the Kings offense against Oklahoma City's defense here, and both of these units are struggling. OKC giving up a lot of open looks, but the Kings are not knocking down their shots. Two things the Kings offense is doing well, though. They're cleaning up the offensive glass, offensive rebounding, and they're protecting the basketball. And turnovers are important here. They need to protect the ball because Oklahoma City, against the top 10 offenses in turnover rate, they're 9-13 against the spread. Against the bottom 10, 20-10-1 against the spread. This is very important that the Thunder create turnovers to get out of the fast break. It's a very important part of their defense. Shot zones for the Kings offense. OKC's been really struggling to defend the three-point shot. 26th in efficiency out there in the last 10 games. And the Kings have been taking a lot of threes. 45% of the Kings shot attempts have come from 3 in the last 10 games. But I expect with SGA coming back, Oklahoma City's perimeter defense should see a boost. Now, this has been an average to a below average three-point defense on the full season. So even with SGA in there, they're not a great three-point defense. I'm just saying they should be better than 26. The reason I just spent so much time talking about Oklahoma City's three-point defense is because that's huge in this matchup. The Kings are 2-12 against the spread against the top 5 above the break 3 defenses. 2-12. They're 8-2 against the spread against the bottom 5. Oklahoma City 26th in the last 10 games. So they need SGA out there. They need that three-point defense to be improved. But honestly, the biggest matchup in this game is going to be in transition. Both these teams run a lot of fast breaks, but more importantly, both are elite at preventing their opponents from getting out in the fast break. Kings are actually first in frequency in defense against the fast break. They do not let their opponents get out in the fast break, which is huge, especially if they're protecting the ball, not turning it over. Oklahoma City in that same category is second. So both these teams run the fast breaks, but both are elite at preventing their opponents from running fast breaks. As far as betting this game, I feel you have to take the Kings here for the simple fact that I don't really trust if Oklahoma City is trying to win basketball games right now. I mean, SGA and possibly Jalen Williams back on the floor, maybe we'll see them look a little bit more back to normal, but as a whole, I don't really know what I'm seeing from this team. They've got the Spurs on deck. They're on the first leg of a back-to-back also. I'm not putting my money on Oklahoma City. It'll be Kings or pass here. To be honest, this might be a pass for me. Next game. Orlando on the road in Houston. Rockets catching 2.5 points at home. The total sitting at 213.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 4-point Magic win. Final score 114-110 Orlando. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with the Magic. Franz Wagner on the report. He's listed as questionable, so that's a big one. We'll have to wait and see with him. Jonathan Isaac is also listed as questionable for the Magic. On the Houston side, same faces as usual. Şengün is still out for the Rockets, and Jayshawn Tate has been ruled out as well for the Rockets. Betting trends on the Orlando side, Magic just 3-5 against the number in their last 8, but they are 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 on the road. They've been trending heavily towards unders for a while now. Orlando 6-16 to the under in their last 22 games. Trends on the Rockets side look terrible. 1-5 against the spread in their last 6, including 5 straight outright losses. 0-5 straight up in their last 5. And the Rockets have gone the other way. They've been all overs. Houston is 11-2 to the over in their last 13 games. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers. Obviously, Orlando's been better than Houston. It's 8th to 18th in efficiency in the last 10. I will say Houston's played the much stronger schedule, though. In the last 10 games, Houston's 11th, Orlando back at 29th. Look, I'm really not going to get into this game, to be honest. I know it looks like a sharp spot to play Houston. 5 straight losses at home with a short line. But the truth is, I've been auto-fading Houston for a few few games now, and it's been working out. So there's just no way I take them here. It'll be Magic or pass. I'll probably bet Orlando at -2.5. The line is a little sketchy, though. So it'll be Orlando at pass for me. Next game. Knicks on the road in Chicago to play the Bulls. Chicago catching 4 points at home. The total sitting at 212.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 2-point Knicks win. Final score 111-109 New York. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with the Knicks. Obviously, still no Julius Randle. I mean, he's out for the year. Other than that, Bogdanovich is on the report. He's listed as probable, though. On the Chicago side, Dosunmu listed as questionable. Caruso listed as questionable, but Caruso's been questionable every single game. Wouldn't read much into that. Kobe White is also on the report. He's listed as probable, though. Betting trends on the New York side. Knicks are 8-4 against the spread in their last 12. Just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 on the road, though. Knicks have been all overs. 7-1 to the over in their last 8. Chicago just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10, just 4-9 against the spread in their last 13 at home, and the Bulls have actually been all unders. Chicago 1-6 to the under in their last 7 games. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers in the last 10 games. Knicks have been the much better team here, 6th to 20th in efficiency. It's not even really close. Strength of schedule slightly goes to the Bulls, but not by much. 18th to 25th in that category in the last 10. The Knicks offense has actually been carrying the team. They're 3rd in offensive rating in the last 10 games. You can see here they've got the edge in every single category across the board against the Bulls defense. Huge rebounding edge here for the Knicks, 2nd to 22nd. So the Knicks should get second chance opportunities, which is huge for New York because on the season, the Knicks are 10-15-2 against the spread against the top 5 defensive rebounding teams. The Bulls are 22nd in the last 10. New York is 16-10-1 against the bottom 10 defensive rebounding teams. New York's been shooting the 3-ball well. They're top 10 in efficiency from both above the break and the corner. Obviously, we know that's been a problem area for the Bulls defense this whole season. Chicago just cannot stop getting lit up from out there. So, yeah, I like the matchup for the Knicks offense. And on the other side, we get the Knicks defense. New York has definitely fallen off a bit on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, that being said, OG Anunoby came back for the Milwaukee game, and they looked elite. They looked like the best defense in the NBA in the second half of that game. Anunoby absolutely clamped Giannis. So even though on paper this looks like an even matchup against the Bulls offense, you got to give the edge to the Knicks. Chicago's been taking a lot of shots at the rim recently. They're actually 2nd in shot frequency at the rim in the last 10 games. And New York's defense has fallen off a little bit at the rim, but they've been elite down there all season. And with Anunoby back helping out with his length, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Also, look at the Bulls' efficiency. They're taking a lot of shots down at the rim. They're not really making them at a high rate at all. I think it's 28th or 29th or something. So overall, as much as I'd love to take Chicago as a short home dog, there's just no way. It'll be Knicks -4 for me. Next game. Warriors on the road in LA to play the Lakers. Lakers are laying 2.5 points at home. Total sitting at 232.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. And according to the model, we should see a 4-point Lakers win. Final score 116-112 LA. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with Golden State. Dario Saric has been ruled out for this game. Andrew Wiggins is on the report, but he's listed as probable, so he most likely plays. On the Lakers side, same as usual. Christian Wood still out. Jared Vanderbilt still out. Anthony Davis and LeBron James on the report, but both are listed as questionable. Betting trends for the Warriors. Golden State 5-3 against the spread in their last 8. 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 on the road. As we know, Golden State's been reliable on the road all year. On the Lakers side, 6-3 against the spread in their last 9, 5-3 against the spread in their last 8 at home, and they've owned Golden State at home here in LA. The Lakers are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 home games against the Warriors. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers in the last 10 games. Pretty even here. These two teams 9th and 11th in efficiency in the last 10. Strength of schedule also pretty close, 17th to 23rd. Matchup for the Warriors offense, again, pretty even across the board except for one category, free throw rate. Golden State dead last in free throw rate. Lakers defense 3rd. So don't expect many free throw attempts from the Warriors in this one. Now, when we look at shot zones for Golden State's offense, obviously we pull up the jump shooting numbers. And you'll see the Lakers have actually been playing good defense against jump shooters. 10th against the above the break 3, 12th against the long mid-range shot. 46% of Golden State shot attempts in the last 10 games come from those two zones. But here's the thing. Look at the Lakers' recent schedule. They've got solid numbers against the three-point shot in the last 10 games, but are there any decent three-point shooting teams here? Cleveland's okay, but they've been cold. Minnesota, Washington, Toronto, Brooklyn, Indiana twice, Memphis. I mean, so yeah, let's give the Lakers a little bit of credit. They've been playing good defense against the three-point shot, but I doubt those numbers stay that high now that they're going to start seeing teams like Golden State. I expect the Warriors to have a good offensive game here. On the other side, we got the Lakers offense against the Warriors defense, and you got to give the slight edge to Golden State on this side simply because of rebounding. 2nd to 22nd. And that's been huge for the Lakers. On the season, LA just 4-8 against the spread against the top 5 defensive rebounding teams. So against these teams that don't let you get active on the offensive glass, like Golden State, Lakers have not been profitable. But the main battle on this side of the court comes at the basket. We know this Lakers offense is super reliant on getting to the rim, scoring at the rim. Golden State does not let their opponents get to the basket. They're first in defensive frequency at the rim in the last 10 games, and the Lakers against the top 5 defenses in rim frequency, 3-8 against the spread. So I like the matchup for Golden State. I like betting the Warriors on the road, and I know you got the Lakers coming off a loss to Minnesota where LeBron sat and AD sat for the second half, but I think this is Golden State's spot. I'm on the Warriors in this one. Like I said earlier, we'll go through every single game on the live show, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Me, Modi, Crispy, Captain. That'll be at 10:30. Then at 4 p.m. Eastern time, it's me, Toast, Prop Beaver, and Modi again. So at 4 p.m. Eastern time, that's the MLB show. We'll go through all 15 MLB games at 4 p.m. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. If you want my top bets or any of the top bets from our staff, head over to KyleKirms.com. They're posted right there on the homepage. Also, there's a link to join the Discord there as well if you're interested. Tuesday night, loaded NBA, loaded MLB, a lot of action on the board. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.